This is the second intermission update here between the Jets and the Oilers. Well, what remains? A 3-2 hockey game for the Oilers. And once again, if you're tuning into this intermission update and you're wondering, man, it was a 3-2 game prior to the second period. Now all of a sudden it's still a 3-2 hockey game. How does that work? Well, even though the Jets kind of took it to the Oilers there in that first 8.5 minutes of the hockey game in the second period, well, the Oilers, they managed to battle back and play a good rest of the game, or rest of the period, I guess you could say, and really just take it as it came. Zach Kassian, probably his best period of the season so far. Zach Kassian buzzing all the way around, all over the ice in that period. And realistically, once again, it comes down to just the bend but don't break Oilers, right? We've talked about that several times now since that first game against the Leafs. Is the Oilers really play that bend but don't break style of hockey? They are so much fun to watch. It's defense, it's offense, it's everything combined into one, and it's everything the Edmonton Oilers are capable of. And that's the fantastic part for us, is watching the Oilers do what they're capable of. We all know, you know what, the defense isn't the prettiest, the defense isn't the best, but I'm sorry, this defense is capable. They wouldn't be in the NHL if they weren't. So what I keep saying is, if they play like they're capable, we're gonna be just dandy. Absolutely. And then secondarily to that, the offense, we have the offense to do whatever the heck we need to do. So it's fantastic to see that going on for the Oilers, is the fact that you're getting rewarded for playing that strong brand of bend but don't break defense. And then you're also getting the rewards for still having the offense that we do. What do I mean by that? How about a 3-2 lead going into the third period? Now, this is game number 2 against the Jets, and this is the second game in a row we're going to take a lead into the period against the Jets, the third period, the one that counts for all the marbles. And well, guess what? As soon as that gets going in the third period, the Oilers have like a great record. I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to curse it, but when it comes down to it, the Oilers have a great record when leading after 2 periods of hockey going into the third period. So we hope that continues again tonight. And even though it didn't look like it was going to the other night, the Oilers, hey, what do you say? They got the job done. So now tonight we need them to get it done. And yes, everybody coming in, we've had a lot of people come floating through so far. And yes, Zach Kassian, you know what? That's the incredible part here for him so far. This is a come alive game for Zach Kassian, and I would love to see, obviously, yes, Puljujärvi bite one into the net tonight, and secondarily to that, watch Zach Kassian bite one into the net. X Snipes texted me midway through that, I don't know, first period, and said, you know what? This could easily, after 3 periods of hockey, if the Oilers really want it to be, it could be a simple 3-2 game turned into a 7-3 hockey game. And you see it in that second period. Zach Kassian, 2 beautiful chances. Backhand play by James Neal just doesn't go in. The Oilers, yes, Puljujärvi, great chance in that period in the first one, and things are coming together for the Oilers. You know what? At the end of the day, is you aren't going to score goals if A, you don't take it to the net, B, if you don't get bounces in front. And so far, well, the Oilers were reluctant to take it to the net. Now they are. And now the bounces will come. And that was what we needed against Toronto, was just a couple of bounces, as the Leafs are taking it to the Flames 2-0. You'll like to see that. That's helping us in the standings for sure. Hopefully stay there in the 4th spot, if not crawl up in the, I'm not going to mention it. But end of the day, it is looking fantastic so far. And how about this? Talk about Adam Larsson. Talk about Adam Larsson when it comes down to it in this one. You know what? Everybody questioned, what is Adam Larsson still doing in the lineup? And everything about Adam Larsson's game that we've been complaining about has kind of come to a head. Either, you know what, I put up or shut up. There's another way to put that, but put up or shut up for Adam Larsson, and he has put up an excellent game. Patrick Russell questioned as to why he's in the lineup any game, and guess what? He comes in, produces one of the best board scrums of the season in terms of keeping the puck moving and alive in about a 4-foot radius, and it results in the Adam Larsson goal. So for the Oilers to watch the offense, the defense, everything kind of mesh together and everything we were asking for in those first 4 games really coming to a fruition here in the past 4 games has really been fantastic to see what's happened. So now I guess the problem is you can play a solid couple of periods of hockey and you can really go to work in those couple of periods. But the problem is if you don't finish it off, it's all for naught. And that's kind of what we saw the other night against the Jets in game 1 is we all were like, oh man, oh, great game so far. And then the game disappeared. We were down. And then we had to tie it up and okay, yeah, take our chances in overtime, sure. But you know what? The Oilers found a way to punch that one through with 0.4 on the clock and really bring us home a victory much earned, much deserved, and much needed. Absolutely. So it's fantastic just to see kind of the evolution. That's what I'm happy about. I'm not happy because obviously, right, a 3-4 record, even a 4-4 record's not what we want. But to go from where we were after the end of those 2 games against Montreal to where we've gone to now in this little of time, it's fantastic to see for sure. And Steve, has Barry been playing much? I noticed he was playing a bit in that second period, but the problem is, I believe, some way around that midway mark, he took a shot off the leg. So I don't know if we have an update on that. Unfortunately, with YouTube copyright rules, I can't play the audio on the intermission report, so I can't exactly catch what's going on with Tyson Barrie if there is an injury. But again, it's been a big game so far for a couple of big guys getting injured. But yeah, Sam, let's talk about Darnell Nurse. That's a good call. Let's talk about Darnell Nurse, everybody, because hold the phone. Darnell Nurse playing 2 of his best games in probably the past 2.5 years, back to back against Winnipeg here. We have seen absolute fantastic efforts out of Darnell Nurse in back-to-back games. And if that's a sign of things to come, we're going to take it. Because the thing is, yeah, you can blame Bear for pulling down Nurse, but look at it the other way. If Nurse can pull along Bear and play the way he has been so far in the past 2 games, we're going to be just dandy. And that's the thing, right? Tyson Barrie will come with time, hopefully. Adam Larson, if he plays like he does tonight every night, well, I'd take, I don't know, about 20 goals with Adam Larson in a season. I think we would, but that's obviously unrealistic. But problem is with that is, right, unrealistic. But still, if you get everybody on the defense contributing, if they contribute everything they're capable of, and then you have the, I don't know, forwards doing exactly what they've been doing in the past couple of games, right? The 4th line tonight, yeah, you know what, not the strongest 4th line. We can definitely field a better 4th line, and we can understandably also field a much better effort over those guys on the 4th line. 5-on-5, I'm talking. Jujhar Khaira brings it every shift on the penalty kill. Whether he gets scored on or not, it's still Jujhar Khaira, so what are we talking about? But when it comes to it, right, Patty Russell, he's a guy who tends to get very well hemmed into his own zone. You've got Archibald on there, who's known to be a player that plays without the puck as the puck. So you talk about it, right? There's not a really good combination for offense on that 4th line, but you still, Patrick Russell gets an assist tonight, and it's a difference maker in this hockey game. If you talk about the difference 1 goal makes going into this 3rd period, well, it's the simple difference between being up 1 and being down 1, and that's immeasurable at this point when you're talking as an Oilers fan going up against the Jets in another must-win game in this division. So, Mikko Koskinen, let's review him a little bit. Well, actually, hold on. Let's get to Dr. Phil's comment about Mr. Evan Bouchard. He's got a back injury. Yeah, minor situation with the back going on. I mean, welcome to being an Oilers defenseman. Of course your back's going to hurt. You have to carry the team. Evan hasn't had to do that yet, so that's not an excuse. It is just a back injury, probably suffered in practice or something. He'll be in the lineup. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when at this point. That's what I've been saying. So we continue to look forward. At least we got a reason why Mr. Evan Bouchard's not in the lineup, right? The previous game on Sunday, we didn't have a reason as to why Evan Bouchard wasn't in the lineup. Now we do, and that helps us quite a bit because we can at least make some kind of sense of why Evan Bouchard's not in the lineup. So that's good to see now is we have that reason. And of course, on the Jumbotron at Bell MTS Place. It is Wayne Gretzky's birthday. I didn't mention that in the first period intermission, but yes, it is Wayne Gretzky's birthday today, his 60th. That's yeah, that's gonna make you feel old. Some people in the house tonight saying, yeah, that makes me feel old, that's for sure. So Sean Brown taking a shift back on the desk at Rogers Place once again, not 50-50 at $431,000. If you don't know how to get onto that, go to the Edmonton Oilers website. They will sort you out there. But yeah, is there much more to recap? Realistically, again, just talk simply about the bend but don't break Oilers. That's the style of play I love watching them play. Is, you know what? No matter how bad it gets, no matter how good it's going, bend but don't break. Right? As you know what? Yeah, you've played lights out, give up a crappy goal, takes the momentum away. Well, then all of a sudden you play a bad 5 minutes and you don't give up a goal, it gives you momentum. So you see how bending and breaking at the wrong times can do, wrong or right times can do a lot for you. If the Oilers bend, right, give up a bad 5 minutes, but don't give up a goal, or get hemmed in their zone right after scoring a goal, but don't give up a goal, then you see the result, a 3-2 lead going into the third period. You break either after giving up a bad power play, which they've done this game, but of course, right, is you're not going to, especially if you're not going to get broken by 1 or 2 goals in a hockey game. I know everybody says, well, the Oilers have to score 5 goals to win every night. So what? That's the real reality of it. Guess what? The Oilers are the one team in the NHL capable of doing that. When they don't, yeah, it's a loss. But more often than not, if you don't give up an insane amount of goals, right? If you give up less than 3 a night, the Oilers are going to win a lot of hockey games. So now we get to see tonight, is it going to be one of those 2-goal games where the Oilers only give up 2, Mikko Koskinen looks solid through 3, and away we go? Or do we go to, I don't know, a bad third period and then cost ourselves a win? That's kind of the question, right? And so far, bend but don't break, we've seen this team turn in an effort that should be capable of producing a good result. Now the question is, how much do the Oilers have left in the tank in this hockey game? Well, after playing in the defensive zone as much as they did, especially the fourth line, the third line, the second line, that means Connor McDavid, who was only hemmed in once that I remember seeing, should have a lot left in the tank. You get a power play early in this third period, and done and dusted, and away we go with what could be a very good ratchet yourself to the couch, because you might be jumping up on the ceiling on a Connor McDavid goal sometime in that third period. So where does that leave us? Robert, welcome in. Of course, I haven't seen Robert around lately. I gotta check in there. Tyson, not doing that well lately. Checking in on people. Anyway, side distractions aside, is simply, you know what? This is still an uncomfortable feeling. And what I mean by that is, we've talked a little bit on the broadcasts lately between Jack Michaels and Louis DeBrusque about how it's an uncomfortable feeling to be in a low-scoring game. But something back to the Todd McClellan days, something now with, of course, a guy like Dave Tippett, is you have to be comfortable in low-scoring games. And for the Oilers, this is yet again, right, going into the third period, uncomfortable territory, only up a goal, and you got to clutch up and finish it off, and you can't just sit there and not score more goals. So you got to go out there and get it done. So for the Oilers, absolutely, time to put up or shut up. And of course, the other side too is be comfortable. Don't push, don't grease for that goal that really goes out there and changes the game, because you know what? You're going to give it up right back the other way, and that's going to be tough. But for us as Oilers fans, at the end of the day, if we can play good enough defense in the third period, we can play good enough offense to win this one, because we don't need to do any more offense to win this one in the third period. But obviously, you would very much so love to see the Oilers go out there, score 2 or 3 more goals, really get Connor Hellebuck pulled, get Laurent Brossoit back into the net, and kind of see action. I believe a Bakersfield Condors contact of mine, big old fan down there in Bakersfield, was informing me that that would go take us all the way back to 2013-14 with the lineup the Oilers are featuring right now. If the Oilers feature this lineup and Laurent Brossoit gets into the net for the Jets in this third period, that takes Condors and Oilers Farm Club history all the way back to 2013-14 for this team. And I think even before that, you would have Darnell Nurse, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. So there would be probably everything from the past decade in this lineups against the Jets and Oilers tonight. So just a fun note there. But as we currently find ourselves getting ready for this third period, I'm going to head out, I think, to Robert's point. Yeah, I just straight up, let's not pass the puck anymore. Let's just shoot and score a bunch of goals and get the job done. Let's clutch up, bend but don't break when we need to. And well, guess what? Go win a hockey game tonight. I'll talk to you in the game review. I'm Tyson. This is Stolen TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am up on out of here.